Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming Videos and a new video today for more Path of Exile 2. Today I'm talking about loot and where you can get an absolute massive pile of it, and particularly good stuff, permanent upgrades, all at the kind of beginning of Act 3. I've just done a quick run of the main thing we're going to talk about today, which is what I would consider a quote-unquote loot cave. And so I've got a full bag of magics, rares, useful items like runes, skill gems, and the all important, very rare regal orbs and exalted orbs, and of course, unique chance too. On top of the XP and gold you're going to get from doing this. In this special cave, there's also a side quest that leads to a choice. 25% increased stun threshold, 30% increased element ailment threshold, or 25% increased mana regen rate. Hugely impactful passive perks. You pick one of these and you just get this massive buff for the rest of the playthrough. But it's not just this specific cave that's so valuable for farming, which it obviously is, but there's also something specific you can do in Act 3 to unlock an immunity charm. Charms are a thing that you will find, of course, in this game, but there's one side quest in Act 3 that essentially lets you pick from 5 or 6, picking whatever you might want. And if you haven't had one drop yet, one of these gives you full poison immunity, which is one of the primary ailments, the most annoying things to deal with in all of Act 3, so I really recommend that, especially for the cave we're going to farm in this video, where most of the enemies are doing poison damage and you can ignore it. Not only am I talking about that, but there's also hidden merchants in Act 3 as another way to get a big source of loot. As you can see, they sell particularly good stuff, and I was able to get a good pair of boots from finding them. So there's quite a lot to talk about in Act 3, and a good way to juice your character up, like I say, towards the beginning of it as well. We'll start here though, in the Venom Crypts, which is what I'm referring to when I say that kind of loot cave concept. I've just full cleared this so I can do a live recording for you to show you generally the layout of this map. Obviously it's a bit different every time, right? But it's always going to be the same kind of procedurally generated thing. Ultimately, you're looking at a big circle in a cave system setup. But if we zoom in, you can see that there's little passageways with doors behind them. In even the bigger rooms, as well as these smaller rooms in this specific cave, you will find sarcophaguses, which are filled with enemies and loot. They're basically an RNG roll. Is it going to be an enemy that spawns in it? Is it going to be a normal non-magic regular sarcophagus? Or is it going to be a blue magic one? Or even a rare one? There's that many of these things in here though, that when you do one run of this place, you will see, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 rare sarcophaguses, more magic ones, and many more normal white ones. All of these are like opening a chest, so even a normal one has that potential to drop something useful like a rune or a skill gem. Even quality items that you want to, dismantle and salvage to then put sockets in your gear using those resources. Every single time you do one of these runs, you will have a full bag of magic and rare items, and you'll be rolling the potential of unique items, as well as those very valuable resources we've been talking about. The reason it's so potent is that it's not just a chest here or there, it's just like 10x the amount of chests that you would have in a normal, I don't know, area cave or whatever, just because of those sarcophaguses. I think unless they change this when you're doing mapping in late game, whenever you get this kind of layout where you have extra containers to open, it's going to be one of the best sources of loot in general to farm. What's beautiful about this one though is that it's a set location. So as you open up Act 3, you'll be here in the encampment. One of the first areas you'll go to is the jungle ruins, and in the jungle ruins is the Venom Crypts. And what's beautiful about that is the fact that it's right next to the waypoint. So as you pick the waypoint and go to the jungle ruins, you're going to find yourself loading in basically next to the entrance of this cave. It should be right next to us. Here it is in a totally different layout to the one that I was in earlier. So as I enter this one, obviously it's fully cleared, so that's a problem. So all you need to do to reset something like that is to enter it while holding control. So as I try to enter it here, you can see we have 2 instances. We have the one that I've fully cleared and letting me know how long before it resets, and then we have a new instance. So if I pick this, it's going to fully reset the Venom Crypts, and as you can see, my map is full reset. All the enemies are back, all the loot, all the many sarcophaguses, and with their new potential RNG of whatever they might have in there, such as many magic items, rares, and of course uniques. And with a quick sell of all the stuff that I don't plan on keeping, we've gained a nice sum with not 1 but 2 items I plan on keeping and potentially using, of course, and some important upgrades and crafting materials as well. And so from the crypts just running a couple times, I've actually got myself a couple of uniques to consider. Sadly, neither for my build and setup, but still. But it's not only that. Obviously, there's this side quest that you'll do when you first initially go there to get the Venom Vial and deliver it back to the NPC in town. When you do that, you get to choose one of these 3 special bonuses. Just be careful because this is a permanent choice. If you make the wrong choice, you're not going to be able to change it for this character. You'll have to make a new character. Either way, it's an incredibly valuable resource to go get, and I would do as soon as you can, irrelevant of how good that loot cave actually is. There is a bit of fear for me that they may nerf this in the future, as it is one of the best sources of loot, but while it's there and available, I want to encourage you guys to make use of it. Now, as I said, there is also another thing that I really recommend, and it's to do the charm side quest while you're in Act 3. This can result in choosing this charm, the antidote charm, which literally provides immunity to poison. Now, obviously, you get charms by playing the game, and you may have RNG rolled this type of charm and you may be fine. But I really want to recommend that you pick this if you don't have it already, because the poison in this region is nasty, and to be completely immune to it is absolutely phenomenal. And again, if you're going to farm the Venom Crypts, there is a lot of poison in there, so being immune, yeah, it's awesome. The side quest associated with the Bog Witch is here in this region, the Azek Bog, which is connected to the Infested Barrens. So as you progress into Act 3, you go through Jungle Ruins, you go into the Infested Barrens, and you'll eventually find the entrance to the Azek Bog, where you can also do the side quest to defeat the boss there, right? The Bog Witch will drop you an all-important upgrade, which is plus 30 to Spirit, which obviously we're all going to want. No doubt it's a big deal, and I think it's going to be something you're not going to miss. But that's what I want to highlight is the reward from the side quest is this roster of charms. If you do have the poison immunity one, definitely take your time and consider which charm is going to be potent here, because full immunity to different ailments, depending on what kind of enemies you're dealing with, is one of the best ways to raise your defenses. Now, one other thing I want to highlight in Act 3, which is kind of interesting, are these camps. You can see in this area in the Jungle Ruins, there's the Troubled Camp. We can see in the Infested Barrens, there's another Troubled Camp. Basically, these Troubled Camps are RNG spawned somewhere in the location that you're in Act 3. When you're out in the jungle, you might just come across these NPCs in a camp, and one of them will actually trade with you. These will provide you another set of options, and I found when I've encountered them, there's always like a rare item that's worth thinking about. Maybe you get lucky and it's relevant for your build. This is great because rolling current eye level gear is the best way to actually get better gear. So something that you need to be doing every time you come into the town, the current town that you're progressing, is go check with the merchants. What are they selling? For my weapon, it's item level 34, so have I gone up in eye level for what they're offering? Yes, I certainly have. Item level 43. As a martial class, this is going to be a massive damage boost for me if it's got the relevant things. Sadly, it doesn't, so my physical damage number is higher on this one than what's here, because it's missing something key like the % increased physical damage. Not to mention this crossbow doesn't have the inherent passive that I want, which is grenade skills fire an additional projectile. Still, it's important that I come and check. Does this have, say, higher eye level? Does it have sockets? Does it have the affixes that I need in particular? As you progress the campaign in the area, you can come back and these stocks will be refreshed. So you'll have a new offering to check. And it's not just weapons. Maybe I'm really falling behind on my chest piece. Let's say it's not providing me the armor I need to make sure I'm checking. This one is item level 25. Meanwhile, this is item level 40. It's a massive step forward. The potential rolls on these affixes are going to be way bigger. Fortunately, this is an amazing piece, so I get plus 82 armor and a % increase to it. So this has 276 armor because of that. So this has basically half that, even though its potential's higher. So I could purchase this, upgrade it, change these affixes, and maybe it would be amazing and a real big upgrade. For me, with the boots that I've got right now, I've got amazing armor on them, but I'm lacking movement speed, which sucks. So I'm always looking for movement speed boots like these ones. 20% increased movement speed now it's higher eye level. One of the biggest complaints about this game is how slow we're moving through the maps. Having at least one affix that gives you movement speed is going to make a big difference. So you have the kind of martial set there. We have the enchantress or whoever it's going to be, offering rings, amulets, and obviously magic gear too. And then there'll be the gambler in every town. So when you level up as you progress the story, come back and check them. And particularly in Act 3, go check the troubled camps too if you're really hunting a better weapon or a big eye level upgrade because you're falling behind in your defenses or whatever. This is the best way to maintain high armor, evasion, energy shield, element resistance, to make it so the bosses you're dealing with are hitting way less. If you're being one shot at any point, your resistances, your armor, whatever the defense it is, it's too low. So rolling the NPCs is one of the best ways to maintain high equipment level. I hope this little overview video can help you in Act 3 at the start of it to get geared up and powerful going in towards Cruel and redoing the campaign. If you guys have anything to add or extra tips, let us know in the comments, you might help someone. But for now, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.